In this video, someone turns left on a straight and gets sent to Narnia. We go 5 wide at Watkins, Glen, and in Daily Race C, well, I get hit and take the wrong layout. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2024, week 43. Yes, we're nearly towards the end of the year now and a very odd week of combos, if I do say so myself. As you can see in the background already, in terms of Daily Race A, we're in Group 2 at the Nurburgring Sprint layout, which is a brand new combo in terms we've never done this before. We're doing 8 laps, rolling start, racing soft tyres, so it's very grippy and you can adjust that brake balance. There are no DR updates there as well, but SR updates are on, so you do have to be careful. Sometimes you get the comment, I lost DR. Well, you probably had a few too many crashes and it impacted your SR so much that it did cost you some DR. That's the only reason it would go down in Daily Race A. If you don't want to do the Race A and you want to jump to Daily Race B or C, there are some timestamps there for you, or you can jump straight to the bloopers if you just want to see all the fun action at the very end. However, I do recommend watching all 3 races just to get a feel for this week. Now, in terms of Daily Race A, the key statistics right here then, we've used this track 5 times. We've never used this track and car combo together, and we last used this track on the 27th of May. Of course, it's got the dodgy chicane at the very end, and there are not many overtaking spots to do it. Turn 1 is the main area. Other than that, it gets really difficult, especially into the chicane because it's a little bit clunky. That's it in terms of all the statistics. Let's jump into this one. I chose the NSX, and let's see how this race goes. Here we are then at the start of this one, and you're not going to see very many familiar faces, although Arky is in this one, as I missed the first A that I normally do, and we ended up in the second one. So here we go, right behind a lot of NSX concepts. I don't think there's any other car in this one as we head towards turn number 1. This is the sketchy corner, of course, at the start of a race. And we are looking on the inside here. There's a little bit of a gap there as we continue on out. And they suddenly turn right out of nowhere. No idea what was kicking off there. As you see my smile on my face. So I was very confused. Absolutely confused there as we go into the next left-hander. Another gap opens up here. Just turns in on me a little bit there, whoever that was. As we go into the right, then we leave them space on the right side. And we are through. And the other driver, well, they end up in the barrier. So 2 for 1 on the right-hander. We take those in towards the sharp right-hander and the hairpin here on the sprint layout. We got Space Cosmo there off the circuit. They come back on here. That's going to let me go, which I appreciate it. Like, literally, you didn't have to do that, but I know you had dirt on your tyres, which is my assumption as to why you let me go. Anyway, up to P7 now, right behind David Osra? David Osara? Osra? I have no idea. David, we're behind David. And Handsome Frank as well as we head towards the chicane. Now, I can see them both wanting to have a go at each other here, so I just let it off here, let them have a fight, and let's see if we can capitalize this on the exit. However, David really slows down in the chicane. Can't really make any moves there. Give them a bump draft, actually, on the exit as we head towards the final corner. 8 laps this race. Oh, David turned in on me there. Oh, there was a space there, mate. If you go for the qualifying line, big old space on the inside. I'm allowed to take that one as we continue on towards lap number 2. What I was going to say here is 8 laps. It's a significant distance, this one, as we head down towards turn 1. We are on the inside, hit hard on the brakes. Spot's going to go into Handsome Frank there, so I just stay on the brakes that little bit longer there as we go on to the exit. Then we are finally past David. In towards left we go, side by side with Handsome Frank. And Handsome Frank keeping that position now, staying defensive then in towards the next left. I was thinking around the outside, very hard to do though, as we come back here on towards the right hand side then. Oh, we're going to try and get the run. Oh, we downshifted accidentally. I forgot I even did that, to be honest with you. Downshifted accidentally there, just accidentally pressed it on my wheels. We go into this right-hander. David absolutely sent it there, off at the hairpin behind. So now it's just me and Handsome Frank fighting for this P5 position right now as we go into the left-hander. Very quick race this in terms of the laps. You know, you get to the end of a circuit very quickly here as we go around the outside of Frank onto the back straight then. And Frank's just got the lead here then. And we do have Space Cosmo and Arky's behind as well. So I didn't really want to go for the move into the chicane, mainly because it will slow everybody down massively. So we are looking to slow it down. Space Cosmo looking around the outside. Very hard to do here, but we continue on. Arky's looks to gain advantage on Cosmo there and actually does behind as we continue towards the final corner. Once again, Handsome Frank goes defensive. We'll go for the qualifying line like David was trying to do on the previous lap. Not enough of a gap behind me there for somebody to jump in that inside. And here we go. We've got the run. But Handsome Frank goes for the indicator there, saying, you go on the right, Tidge. I'm staying here. Let's me go there. I appreciate that. Good racing all the same. Really good defensive driving there from you, Handsome Frank, as we go into turn 1. What we're going to do is try and race up to the next pack then. And here we are. We've got Terminator 90 up ahead. And, oh, somebody's off in the distance. German Kiwi is off there on the left-hand side. Not sure what happened to them as we continue on through here then. And up towards this left-hander. In we go. Right behind Terminator. We can actually see P1, to be honest with you. So we do have a shot here halfway into this race. We do have the fastest lap as well. Now, Terminator 90 just got a bit of an iffy exit then as we head towards the chicane. And again, I'm not going to go for the move here. It's just to see where the braking marker is as I stick towards the left-hand side. They turn left. But I have no idea why they did that. I still don't know why they did that after looking at the replay as well. Not got the foggiest idea at all why you turn left there. But yeah, we take the position all the same. As that was definitely not our fault. P2 up ahead there. Muni Fitura in towards the braking zone. We can see P1 as well. So we do have a chance of winning this one. We are catching very quickly each time. And the Spanish driver just gets it wrong on the exit. We're on the inside there. Good spatial awareness from the Spanish driver as we continue on through to this next left-hander. We're on the inside. This should be all said and done. There it is, P2, with just one driver remaining in the field to overtake. Oops, slight tap on the rear there. That gives me a bit of a boost mid-corner. And I ran a little bit wide. So at the end of the lap then, we do catch up to Constantine. Through the right we go. We're very close to the driver up ahead where they're going then. So we're going to go for the qualifying line again. Try and get the run through the corner. That's the goal here. And with just a little bit of an issue there with the car. I got a bit slippy. So they go towards the right. They stop turning right. So I go right again. They turn right again. At the time, and you're going to read me there, I say double move. But we'll look at the bloopers in that one. I'm not sure it's quite as severe as I thought. Anyway, I absolutely send it down the inside as they hit the brakes very early there. And we get the job done. Look at that. That's a send and a half. Now, I make the apex. The rule of thumb always, you make the apex. It's absolutely fine. That's my rule of thumb anyway. And there we go. What a move that was as we head towards the next left. In we go, and we still keep this position for now, defending very nicely in towards the right. We accelerate through the corner and continue on. We actually advance towards the end of the race, and where we finish up in P1, we get a victory in the weekly race guide. We don't see them too often. And in terms of the scores then, so all the details are down below. 5.5 in the end in terms for this race. It's an okay race. It's not the greatest race in the world, not the worst race in the world. Probably is about bang average, to be honest with you, in terms of the scores. Right, down the right side, you can see the +5 brake balance, and we're going to head towards turn number 1 for this lap guide, where we're looking for the 100 board or the start of the curb on the left-hand side. Literally your 2 brake markers for turn number 1. Now, you're going to come all the way down the brakes, and you do want to keep this nice and tight in this car. It's got enough downforce, and it's an MR car as well, so the rear will plant itself very quickly on exit, and you can accelerate out the corner. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Notice there, straight on the throttle. Over towards the right-hand side then, and there's an escape road there. That's your lift-off marker. You don't have to brake for it. If you are struggling with overspeed, maybe do tap the brakes a little bit, but I'm just going to lift off here, and I'm just going to let the speed slow down itself. Okay, or the car slow down itself, not speed. And that's what I'm going to do right here then. So as we go into here, lift off. Oh, I'd have the brakes myself, so overspeed there. Same situation. I didn't always do that when I was doing these laps. So in the center of your screen there, you got a tower. That tower is your acceleration marker, okay? As it gets towards the center of your screen, start accelerating. Notice there, it's very close to my center. I'm about 95% on the throttle at this point. I'm trying to be aggressive on the throttle there. Over towards the right side, and what we're looking for is the end of the curbing on the right. The dark green stuff into the, I don't know, the grippy stuff or non-grippy stuff. I have no idea how grippy it is on the right there. But that's your brake marker for this left-hander. You can stay in second gear for this corner, or you could drop to first. I varied depending on the lap, so I dropped to first here as I turn in, then short shift to second on exit if I wasn't in second already. Slight lift through the right-hander. Use a little bit more of the exit than normal, and continue towards the hairpin. The hairpin then is the start of the curb there. Literally the start of the curb is your brake marker. Similar to previous then, so you can drop to second gear and stay in second gear, or you can drop down to first gear and then short shift to second gear. Entirely your choice for this one. I found that second gear was a bit more stable. First gear allowed the car to rotate a bit more, so it just varied on the lap. So I stayed in second gear on this particular one, and I'm looking for that escape road there. It's not necessarily escape road either. It's the road down towards the actual GP hairpin if you're staying at the cabin. But that's your accelerating marker there. Okay, so as that hits the edge of your screen, as it's about to disappear, start accelerating. Now, on the exit, this is where you've got to be careful. There's a little bit of a bump there, and that could cause some oversteer. So I straighten up just to make sure I don't get oversteer. As we go to this left-hander, we've got the sector line there. That is your brake marker. As it hits the bottom of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes. You want to chuck it in, stay in third gear, and try and maintain as much speed as possible through this corner. So I think I try and maintain 90 miles an hour from memory. Let's have a look at this. 90 miles an hour, we hit the throttle over towards the left-hand side. There is a marshal there. You can use them. I use the tarmac on the right. Basically, as it's about to run out is when I hit the brakes, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. If you can carry more speed in this right-hander, the faster your lap will be. There is so much time in this corner. I lost time in this corner on this particular lap as well because I could have carried a little bit more. Notice I was a bit too tentative on the throttle. I just trusted in myself a little bit more. I would have done that a bit quicker. Now the chicane. This is one of those corners where you yeet it if you can. I don't yeet it on this particular lap, so this is a slow lap than it should be. So on the left-hand side, you've got the Zurich sign. You can use that as a brake marker. Alternatively, the easy one on the right, the 100 board right there, okay? That is your brake marker for the chicane. So you're going to hit the brakes. Now, you can stay in third gear and try and do it in third gear or drop to second gear. I do second gear in this particular lap. I take this very cautiously, and you can see there, I did lose quite a bit of time. We head towards the final sector then on the left-hand side. What we're looking for here then is the orange painted barrier on the left-hand side. That is your final brake marker for this one. So aim towards the corner as you hit the brakes, okay? And you should make this absolutely fine. And that's what we're going to do right here then. So we go into here, second gear, turn in. And the second we feel we can make the exit, we hit the throttle and off we go. We head towards the line. Notice we didn't really have too much oversteer. Race yourself tyres, MR car. There's just so much grip there. Then race B, where we've got even more grip apparently, because we are in Group 1 machinery at Watkins, Glen. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you there with that one. And what we're doing right here then? Well, we're doing 6 laps. Here's a rolling start, racing medium tyres, which is unusual for Group 1. And you can adjust that brake balance once again. I chose a hybrid for the race. However, I chose a different car for the time trial. And we will get into that lap guide a little bit later on. In terms of the key statistics here, we've used this track 10 times. We've never done this car combo before, track and car combo. And we last used this track on the 1st of July. Downforce does equal danger. That is one of the main issues here because depending on the car will depend on how fast you go around a corner. And the chicane can be sketchy because in the Bugatti, you can do it flat. In other cars, you definitely can't do it. So potential crashes there for you. I chose the Audi for this one. Let's jump into this race then and let's have a look at some of those potential and actual crashes. Here we are then at the next start. So a lot of hybrids in the race, which is what I expected. Robert Bags chose the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo car. And you should choose the like button and subscribe button because it helps out the channel massively. And if you're this far into the video already, you're obviously enjoying it. Right, as we head towards turn number 1 then, we're going to see the differences between the cars. And the Bugatti doesn't have a hybrid system, although it does have insane downforce. And you can see the difference there automatically here with the hybrid versus non-hybrid. And as we continue on here, we've got a custom slipstream as well. We are going to get very close to that Bugatti. Now, I decided not to go for the move here and bump draft just because I really didn't see the issue or impact of going for the overtake here into the chicane. The Bugatti, though, can do this so fast. I fully expect Bugattis to do that in the race. Just absolutely nail the chicane down the inside. So we didn't really gain anything. The Bugatti of Shadow did. As we continue on towards this left-hander then, we're going to go hard on the brakes. Now, up ahead, Shadow gets a slight tap there. Going to be pushed out wide into the barrier. We're going to go down the middle here. It's all kicking off now, and this is one of the problems with this race, is that it gets very close very quickly. People have no idea really how to handle the downforce. Me included, actually. I still had pace in this car, and suddenly it can get very awkward. Very, very, very awkward. They're 3 wide up ahead, and here we go into the braking zone. I would argue I was going to make that. Unfortunately, they broke a little bit earlier, which they should have done because they were 3 wide, so it's completely on me. So I did let them go there, and I've actually lost some positions as we go into this left-hander. Now, up ahead, look at this. Crashes absolutely everywhere. We're 4 wide right now at one point there, and we're back to being 2, 3 wide. I have no idea what's kicking off here as we go into this left-hander. Max power in the Peugeot behind me. That's a brave choice. So Mazda slightly taps me. In towards the right we go. GT3 RS Turbo just gets it slightly wrong on the exit, and we are now in P9. What a crazy lap 1, and do expect that on every single race. I fully expect that. They actually let me go here as we go into the right-hander. We calm it down a little bit, and now we can breathe. Lap 1 in this daily race is going to be absolutely nuts every single time. I can't see it being any different. It was a chicane where I get it completely wrong there. Notice the bump just chucked me off there. We come back on the circuit, and unfortunately, we get a 0.5 second penalty. And it's a 4-second penalty then. That would be a bit extreme, wouldn't it? The lap later, we didn't lose any positions there. We do catch up to the next pack then, where we've got Fuzzy Daddy, we've got Gav done, and we've also got Schlungy up ahead. So we got the inside of Gav, so that should be all said and done. They're in the same car as me, so that was a like for like as we continue on through here. Now remember, with Group 1, it's all about downforce, so the faster you go around the corner, the more grip you'll have, and obviously the quicker the lap will be, which is why you'll see big discrepancies in people's driving. And it's likewise in Daily Race A to some extent in terms of the Group 2 cars, but it's even more extreme in this one. So I was looking down the inside of Schlungi. Couldn't really get it to happen there as we continue on through here. And we're going to head towards the penultimate corner then. We're going to chuck it in. Notice that I was purple. Even with the racing, I was purple here. And we're going to look. No, we're not. We're backing out of this for now. In towards the right we go. Notice that we're having to lift. The difference in speed there, just because I'm carrying a different speed to Schlungi here as we head towards the line then, and we don't get the purple in the end as we just let off there. We want the run on the back straight, or arguably the next straight. I'm not even sure what counts as the back straight at Watkins Glen, but we don't get it. We left too much of a gap there, so we're looking to catch up to Schlungi, which we do in this right-hander. Again, look at the speed difference here. As we leave this corner, we are very close once again to the Swiss driver. We're going to go towards the right side. There's a slight tap there. That was accidental. And again, you are going to see twitchy movements there between cars, especially pad players, because pad is going to be very twitchy with these cars. It's just a natural thing. So the final lap here, then we catch up to the next pack. We've got Buck Stella here. We've got Fuzzy Daddy and Shadow ahead of this pack. Now, Fuzzy Daddy has a 1-second penalty, which is quite significant on this layout, especially when you've got hybrids in the race, because they just bolt past you like you're standing still. Now, the custom slipstream does mean that we do get bigger runs on cars. And we're looking down the inside. It's the final lap, which is why I went for this. And in we go. We're going to try and keep it. There we go. Look at the speed difference versus earlier on when I hit the bump. And we've just gained 1.5 seconds penalty on Buck Stella. Of course, Fuzzy Daddy took the penalty. We didn't get anywhere else. We did get the fastest lap, though. And that is the race in a nutshell. It does spread out very quickly, just due to the downforce. It spreads the field out. Now, in terms of the scores, it's got a 5 out of 10. And all the details about that are down below. Pretty decent race length, if I'm honest with you. 9 minutes. It could have done with one extra lap, maybe, but then the grid would have been more spread out, so maybe not. You can see brake balance down in the right-hand side in this Bugatti, and what we're looking for is that Gran Turismo 7 board just before the 100 for turn 1. Now, this car is very sketchy on the brakes. If you turn and brake at the same time, you'll go flying. So brake in a straight line and make sure you release the brakes before you start turning. Gran Turismo 7 board right there. So as we turn into here, notice that I didn't release fully there, and that's why we got a bit of oversteer. On the exit, as long as you stay on the curb, I always show this every single time, the red and yellow or orange curbing that you can see right there. As long as you're on it with at least 2 of the wheels, you will not get a penalty, and I'm just on it there. You rev this car, and you are now going flat out. Okay, so you can get more rotation in turn 1 and really push the limits if you wanted to, because these cars do grip on the exit just due to that downforce. And what we're going to do now is not brake for the chicane. We're going to have a slight lift, and that's it. And that's all we're going to do here. So we turn in, slight lift, and then we continue on through here. I could have done that faster, and I have done it faster. Into the right we go. We just slightly lift again. You don't have to lift at all for that right-hander. I've done it flat. It's crazy, this car. Absolutely crazy. So the next time we brake is the 200 board. We're halfway into the lap here, and it's only the second time we're braking. So the 200 board is your brake marker. We're going to drop to 4th gear. This is one of those where you need to maintain and carry the speed as much as possible. If you get a bit of rotation, it does help. Again, I got a bit of rotation there. And we're looking for the end of the fence. The end of the fence is your acceleration marker, and it's right when it hits the center of your screen, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Center of the screen, we're going to start accelerating, and we should make it round the corner. The faster we go on the exit, the more grip we'll have, the more we'll turn, and it just continues that spiraling effect. So there we go. Happy days. We continue towards this right-hander where you can be very aggressive on the brakes just due to the uphill braking. So we are going to use the 100 on the left-hand side as our brake marker. It's mad to even say that. So yeah, the 100 on the left-hand side is your brake marker. Make sure you start pointed towards the apex, and make sure you can kind of keep a nice tight line if you can. And that's what we're going to try and do here. We bring it back, and then we're looking for the marshal box there. I've actually delayed the throttle a little bit too much here on this particular run, but even so, the marshal box is there. When it's in your center of your screen, start accelerating. It's towards the edge of my screen here on the left-hand side, so it's not the greatest run into this corner, or greatest exit in this corner. But even so, we make it absolutely fine as we continue on. We can breathe a little bit now as we get towards the end of the lap. It gets a bit easier at the end of the lap, in my opinion. What you can use is the 100 board as a bit of a distance measure, which is what I was using. You can try and use that lamppost on the left. I did highlight it there because it's bang on the money, and it's something I will use in the future when I jump back on this. Because I think I will jump back on this. I really do want to improve on this particular lap because I have plenty of pace in me. So to go into here, later apex, 3rd gear, accelerate as early as you can on the exit. Head over towards the right-hand side. What we're looking for here is that 100 board. You want to brake just before it, and this is one of those where you want to keep a tight line again. If you go for a wide line, it just ends up being weird. A tight line will give you the best lap in this Bugatti. And I think I keep calling it a Veyron. I do apologize if I do call it a Veyron at any point. So get it turned in. And we're looking for the marshal box. The second that hits the center of your screen, just accelerate. Hit that pedal and put it to the floor in third gear. You won't oversteer. You should be able to carry as much speed as you can. And you will just grip on the exit. Again, it's one of those where it just grips and grips and grips. And you'll just keep going. Now, we continue on now. We've got no more brake markers. It's all flat out from this point with tiny bits of lifts. This corner, easy flat. In towards the left we go. Over towards the left-hand side. Now, I'm going to lift here particularly, but you don't have to. You can do this flat at around 150 miles an hour. Because I lifted, I turned in, I hit the grass, it forced understeer. That's why it compromised me on the exit, and that's why there's a lot more time in the slap. Do expect 25s. That was a 26.5 from me, and that's it in terms of that. And we're back at the Nurburgring for Daily Race C, which is very annoying in my opinion. 3 laps here, rolling start, racing hard tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance, and you get a reward increase of 600%. Well, you need something for this race because it's a 3-lap sprint around the 24-hour layout. And for me personally, as you know, I'm not a fan of this track, and I don't think the racing's going to be that good here. The track's been used once before in terms of this particular layout, and it was the same track and car combo, and it was last used on the 22nd of May. It's a bit slippy with the racing hard tyres, and it is a traffic jam until the Dottinghurst straight, mainly because you can't really go for moves in many places. It really is a case of once you're on the Nords, you're literally stuck there until that straight. Let's jump into this one then. Let's have a look exactly what happens, because crashes do happen at the Green Hell. Here we are then on the final race, and look at this, a whole heap of different cars here. Nobody had any idea which car to pick here for the Nürburgring. Maybe people are using the manufacturer choice. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you are enjoying this video. And I did mention the manufacturer series because that's using the, well, not the exact same layout, but a very similar layout in terms of that race. So it's a bit frustrating. This race is featured technically twice this week. Even so, in towards turn 1 we go. We're going to go around the outside there of the Toyota Supra, and we're up into P11. That's not too shabby at all. A place gained into turn 1. It's very sharp. You do have to be careful as we go into this left-hander then, and we've got a whole train of cars in the distance. So onto the brakes there, just defending from max power behind in that Lamborghini Huracan as we continue on out there. Just went onto the gravel, and that's going to slow him down a little bit. However, they're back up to pace very quickly here as we go in towards the hairpin. I defend from max power trying to go around the outside here. Just gets a bit of oversteer then as we continue on through here. We continue on. We're going to be side by side on the exit there, coming to the Schumacher S. I didn't really want to give this up, if I'm honest with you. So we go on the outside. They're on the inside there. They give me space. Unfortunately, they get a whole load of oversteer, and they have gone, and we get P10. But unfortunately for me, we also get a 0.5-second penalty, which I think is a bit unfair there. I don't really like that penalty, if I'm brutally honest with you. But even so, it exists. I was all 4 wheels onto the green stuff, and that's why I got the penalty. Now max power gives me a little bit of a bump there just because I was going slow on the exit with dirty tires, and we're already on the Nordschleife now where we stick in the traffic jam, which I'm talking about. So it's very hard to overtake, especially in this kind of section here. It's just line astern really. You can't send it anywhere. There's no hard braking zones. If you do send it, more likely you're going to crash into somebody, and this is my point entirely. However, when you come out of this section here, this is where there's a potential of overtaking at floodplaats. Of course there is. So we're going to head up towards floodplaats then, and get to this point. So I'll lift off a little bit here. I'm going for the prep as we continue on through here. Motor Insider, a little bit of oversteer there through the right-hander, and this Toyota Supra that I'm in is very good in terms of top-end speed. So that's what we're trying to do here. There's a tiny bit of a bump there as they came off the curb. Max power gives me a bit of bump draft, which helps us massively go on by. And I wasn't actually trying to give the Porsche the slipstream there. It's just the way the bump was on the Nürburgring. We open to P9, and then we're behind Shelty in that Pennzoil GTR. It's not the old one though, it is the new one with the old school livery. So we're going to head towards the Foxhole then in this line of cars here. And this is where you chill. Notice I'm coming off the throttle. There's nowhere for me to go. I just sit here at this moment in time as we prep for the corner. In towards the right we go then, and continuing on. Somebody off on the left hand side, they've gone, so that is another place. Max power looking on the outside, not going to quite work here as we go to the right, and you can see this train of cars. It really is a long line of cars. The leader's bolted though as we continue in towards this right hander. Shelty looking on the inside. Is Shelty going to do it? Not quite here. They did slow me up on the corner. Max power's got the run then, going to go on the inside here as we continue on to this part. Now this part you can race on, as I showed in a live event. If you think back to 2019 at the Nürburgring live event, me and Legner went side by side going up here at a live event, which is very sketchy indeed, but we made it work. We made it happen. It was all good fun. So we continue on here, and we're going to get towards the kink then, and we have lost the place to max power. I'm going to head towards the braking zone just before the carousel. Up in the distance, though, Shelty unfortunately just taps turbochargers in the braking zone. So we get a 2-for-1 deal there. We'll take that. Motor Inside is right behind us here as well as we head towards the carousel. It's a place I wouldn't go for a move there. I think they back out of this as well as we go into here. So try to keep it nice and steady. Very hard to do in an MR car, as you can see by max power all over the place there on the carousel. But even so, we carry to the mini carousel then, and we've stayed in this traffic jam the entire time, led by Shadow in the Alfa Romeo 4C. But we're going to have a penalty on this straight, so it does mean we are going to lose out, but we are trying to keep up with them just to maintain that rhythm. Now, we know Motor Insider also has a penalty because we always took them earlier on, so I'm not really worried about them either, and we're just going to get to that penalty line, which is just brutal, absolutely brutal penalty line this, as we lose out massively. Right, so we advance much further on in lap number 2. It's literally P7 at the moment. Alpha Simu there just gets it slightly wrong in the hit, miss, hit? I can't remember which one it is. Hit, miss, hit something anyway. All right, we're going to go in towards the left-hander here, and they've got dirt on their tyres as well. So they are going to be struggling a little bit here. We do need to try and get past them to catch up to the pack, which was a 4, now a 3. It's a trio in the distance. We want to get involved there. So I did notice that Alpha was braking early here for some of these corners. So I really wanted... Oh, the side-by-side up ahead. That was Max Power and Cooper. Through the right we go. I did want to get involved here as we continue on out of there then and head towards the long right-hander. Now, remember, this Supra, very good on the straight, and it's uphill this next straight bit, or the straight little kink. So I did want to get on the inside here because I knew I could actually accelerate away. So I went for the move, sent it, worked out very nicely indeed, stayed on the inside, so I gave him space on the exit, and we could just bolt here. We absolutely flew at this moment in time, so we were just going to advance further on here. Looking to catch up to Cooper, where we have been catching. Cooper, unfortunately, makes a big mistake at the bump, at the jump. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's there, and it was a big mistake. So, into the mini carousel, and through we go. And continue on exit, where we get a whole lot of wheel spin, which is very annoying. It's the racing hard tyres that do that, in my opinion. It's not necessarily the corner itself, but we do lose a bit of time, and that puts Alpha back right in our slipstream here, which is unfortunate for us, because we have a whole load. I think it's 2 kilometers this straight. It's absolutely massive. And look at this then. The Porsche slowly catching. Going to go towards my outside, but this is where the Supra really benefits, because that Porsche had the run, had the slingshot, but just stopped. Absolutely stops there side by side. It's not them, it's just the Supra is so good in terms of its power. So we go side by side. Beautiful racing. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. And Alpha made it work. Really well played. Now, I really didn't want that to happen because I wanted to catch up to Max Power and Shadow to try and get in that top 3. You know I don't like this track, but a podium at this track would have been absolutely awesome. Alpha goes towards the right, then back towards the left for the racing line then, and a little bit towards the middle, then back towards the left. And as we head towards turn 1, we're looking to send it down the inside here. I noticed Alpha was braking early again. We do make it there, and Alpha turns in very early, in my opinion, arguably too early. It does unsettle my car massively, and it does cost me a bit of time. We'll have a look at that one in the bloopers though, just to see how it was. Even so, we do catch up to Alpha at Flugplatz, and through the right-handers we go. And this is where the Supra will benefit massively again from that top end speed. It is just huge. Look at the difference here. It's like a different class of car as we go on the outside of the Porsche, and that's us up into P5 then. Happy days indeed. Can we make it work? Yes, we fly through there. The downforce working its magic, and in towards the right we go. The question is, can we catch up to Shadow, who's 3.5 seconds up the road? 3.6. Well, we've been trying, and as we go into this left-hander, we just outbrake ourselves a little bit too much. And look who's back. It's Alpha again. We made a mistake there. It's cost us, I don't even know, that half a second there as we go into the right-hander. And we're looking to get out of here then. And we'll advance towards the end, where Shadow did have a penalty on the Dossinger as well. So we did catch up to Shadow. Can we make the move in the final corner? I did notice when I did a couple of laps in practice, I was really good in this section. And as we continue out here, I was good, but it's not quite calling because Shadow keeps that position. And we're going to come home in P5 in the end. Now, there will be a score for this race, and I try not to be biased because, you know, I don't like this layout of circuit. But even so, the score is going to come up right now, and I've given it a 5 out of 10. Because I do feel you can have a little bit of racing. I don't think you can have that much, but again, all the details are down below. There's no track guide for this one because it'd be a 3-hour video, but I will link a video at the end, which does give you some reference points here. Now, what happened to Cosmo into this one? Just broke themselves into the hairpin. We've got plenty of bloopers coming up here, so Cosmo comes back on. Very safe and sound. Good sportsmanship there. Interesting. Going to let me go there with a dab of the brakes. I appreciate that. German Kiwi. Now, we saw them off at this hairpin coming up. So, are they going to do what Cosmo did? That is the question. as we go onto the brakes. Oh, yeah, completely outbrakes themselves. And then into a barrier. Ouchie wawa. Right, okay, what is next on this one? Oh, yeah, this is Terminator. I have no idea why Terminator turned left. Is there any particular reason? So we're just there. And then, I have no idea. I'm so confused by that. The random turning left. No idea. Not got the foggiest idea. But even so, we made it work, even though it wasn't our fault. So this was what I would call a double move. But let's actually have a look at this a bit more in detail. So we come out of here. Constantine goes towards the right and then straightens up. And then goes to the right as I start going to the right as well. Probably not as bad as I thought, to be honest with you. But it's a little bit of a double move. Maybe it's, I don't know. Seems a little bit reactionary. But even so, I went for the move down the inside. I am very pleased with that move. That was a heck of a move and a half. Right, we're on board Tigers here as we go into Daily Race B. So through the left, there you go. Ooh, bit of oversteer, and round we go. And then look at this. Absolute scars everywhere. Lose so many positions in the space of a short space of time. Right, okay, well, let's go on board me. Let's actually have a look at this because I think we've got 5 wide there with Tigers included. So into towards here we go. It's a tiny bit on the too late on the brakes there from myself, which is why I let off here. And everybody then sort of closes up as well. So in towards the left we go. Gav hits the Mazda. Through the left we go. There's a slight tag there. And it is going to be 5 wide. Look at that. Briefly 5 wide with one car facing the opposite way. So yeah, lots of action there. Here's the incident between me and Gotts. So as we go into the left-hander, they tried to give me room here as well. And they just got a tiny bit too much oversteer and then went for a spin. So that was very unfortunate indeed. As we continue on here to Steph. This was the Supra that was off at Foxhole. Through the left we go, in towards the right, and in towards the barrier. Very common mistake to happen. I've done it on official E3 gameplay video of GT Sport. Go and check that out on YouTube. Hodgson. Oh, Hodgson's going to make the same mistake. A bit too much speed carried. Struggling to stop the car, and goes round Steph, who was off the circuit, and into the barrier themselves then. So, jumping on board Shelty, lap number 2, in towards the sharp left-hander. Shelty turns right instead, wants to go home, and unfortunately goes for a big old crash. On board Hodgson then, who's not having the greatest time in the world. So this is the straight into the slight lift on the left, and this NSX cannot carry a lot of speed due to the downforce, and goes for a big old spin there, does Hodgson. We go on board Got X here in towards the left and then the right. People are starting to push this point, getting a bit of confidence. Fortunately, too much confidence there for Got. Just clips the grass and goes for a spin. Again, these hard tyres very slippy in this environment. They really are at the Nurburgring. No idea why, other than temperature potentially. Here's Alpha then. So this was where I went for the move down the inside here. So on the brakes, they're on the brakes quite early here. And then they just turn in when I'm still there. So yeah, maybe not as bad as I thought it was, but even so, I was still there and I did exist. I can't just disappear at that moment in time. So we jump on board Robomags. So same corner here through the right and then the left. No idea if Robomags was in VR for this one. Going to accelerate and on the slippy stuff just by a tiny margin and goes for a little bit of a spin there and then going to struggle to get back on the circuit. What we'll do, we have one more blooper. Lots of bloopers this week, that's for sure. Nurburgring producing that stuff. We go on board Dimmy, who did get past Robomags after that incident, in towards the braking zone here. Very easy to get this one wrong and run too deep, exactly like Dimmy has done there. And Dimmy goes for a spin, and that is going to be it in terms of these bloopers. As always, folks, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support. There are 2 videos there to check out, including the Nurburgring time trial that I talked about, or the reference points anyway. I'll say that's it for me. Check out the partners down below, and I hope to see you in another video live stream again very soon.